Other thing I want to talk about is John Cena. If you haven't seen the interview on The Breakfast Club with him and Idris Elba, I encourage you to watch it. I saw a clip, and it really helped me as an entertainer. It really helped me. Sorry about that. Just kind of refocus at the core what this is all about, the entertainment business. And this kind of goes back to the country dude. He's worried about the wrong thing. I think it's weird. For some reason, I think I'm going to either run into John Cena or work with John Cena soon, because his name keeps coming up in circles around me. For some reason, my algorithm's on my phone, and I don't know. I just got a feeling. I mean, I got a feeling me and him's going to do something together in the future. And it could just be we meet up. I don't know. But he was on The Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how he doesn't use security. And of course, you're on The Breakfast Club. It's a hip hop show. They go, security? Because I guess they're used to rappers and reality show people. I always wonder, like, some people that have security don't really need it, and it does draw a lot of attention to you. And he said, no, I don't use security. He goes, because if you walk in with 25 people, you draw attention to yourself. And then if you're drawing attention to yourself, then outside elements can come in. And then when you have to leave, you got to coordinate with a lot of people. You can't just get up and leave. That's a lot of people leaving. He goes, so I just move with a small group, AKA his wife or his friends. And he goes, if I want to leave, I leave. I've always said that. I've always said the same thing. I was like, yo, travel light, travel right. You know, you don't need a lot of people around. I know a lot of comedians, singers, athletes, they'll be traveling with security. I go, you know, you don't really need that. I got more people hitting me up trying to do security work for me, and I'm like, I don't need it. I'm good. I really don't. But it got me thinking. He said, I think at the core, humanity's good. Most people are good people. He goes, it's just there's a few bad apples, but at the core, people are good. I remember I went to a barbershop 2 months ago in San Diego, and they said there was pictures of John Cena all over the wall. And the guy goes, yeah, he's got a house on the beach not too far from here, and he comes in and gets his hair cut. And they said, the guy told me, he goes, he just walks in. Sometimes he calls, sometimes he doesn't, but if somebody else is getting cut, he just sits down, he's by himself in a barbershop getting his hair cut. And I was like, I mean, that just said volumes about him. And I did Andrew Santino's podcast last year. And I literally asked him, who's been off air, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I said, who's been like your favorite person and who's been your least favorite person to work with that you didn't know before you got on a movie or a TV show? I'm not going to say the bad, no reason. But he said, John Cena, he said that his trailer was always there to knock on it. He was very collaborative. He wasn't standoffish with any of the crew. He just, what are we doing? He was just one of the guys when they were filming. And then, but there was two things. He said, oh, get back to security. I'll tell you a funny security story. I was in Detroit, and this guy asked if he could do security for me. I was like, I don't really need it. He goes, let me just do it to show you what I can do, and then, you know, we'll go from there. And I go, all right. When I get to the venue, keep in mind, I'm usually just getting a rent-a-car, pulling up to the back of a venue. I might have me and my opener, or me and a buddy, but two people tops are usually traveling with me. Because if someone's going to do something, I don't carry cash. I don't know. I think I'm like John Cena. I think most people are good. So that's funny. I don't carry cash, but it was in my car and I got robbed. But I'm talking about on the road. I don't have any cash on me. But he's got like 4 of the biggest black guys I've ever seen in my life at the back door waiting on me. Then we go into the venue. Keep in mind, I know everybody on the show. It's my show. We're at a theater. We go into the venue. They sweep backstage. I go, what is going on right now? They're telling me, no, don't come in yet. We got to make sure it's clear. I go, what? Then we go to my dressing room, They post up one guy outside my dressing room, and they got a guy in my dressing room at the door staring at me. I go, bro, I am not Barack Obama. I am not Donald Trump. I don't need all this. Why are you in the dressing room, first of all? Maybe I want to fart. Maybe I want to pick my nose. And I don't want you to see it. But we're just standing there. He's like holding people off from coming to say hi to me. I know everybody on the show. I probably picked the people to be on the show. And they're keeping people away. The one thing about my guys backstage, we give each other space, but I have an open door. If you want to come say what's up, stop and say what's up. Or if you just want to talk real quick before we go up, I don't care about that. So he's getting me. It reminded me when John Cena, he didn't travel with security. I said, yeah, that kind of tainted me a little bit right there. John Witherspoon always said he don't travel with a bunch of people. He was like, nah, because I had a road manager and security there, and I realized I'm paying them this, and I sit in the room all day. And I go to the show. I was like, yep. But here's a couple things. That was a long thing, but a couple things John Cena said in the interview that just, man, I'm so glad I listened to it. He said at the core, I feel like humanity's good. He said, even when you're talking about signing autographs, he goes, sometimes you can't sign all the autographs. And there's a time and a place. When somebody's out to eat, you leave them alone. When somebody's with their family, you leave them alone. You can say hi. You can say whatever, but to have them stop what they're doing to get a picture or an autograph, it's just not the time. Especially if you got your kids with you, everything else. He said, so when it comes to the paparazzi, he goes, his only issue is they get a little aggressive, and he could be with his wife, and they kind of push her to the side. He goes, and that's not okay. You have to acknowledge her. You have to ask, things like that. He says the flash bulbs just be popping, and they don't take that into consideration. And he said when it comes to signing autographs, kids, families, all that's, we know what that is. That's just a fan. He said, but the memorabilia hounds, the one that Kelsey Plum got on a couple weeks ago, a WNBA player, she made this memorabilia fan feel bad for asking for autograph that clearly he was going to sell. And we know, everybody knows who's there as a fan and who's there to make money off your signature. We've all signed the glossy pictures that they're probably going to frame up and try to sell on eBay and stuff. But he said, I used to think, I'm not doing this. These guys are trying to make money off of me. He goes, and then I stepped back and went, wait a minute. If me signing 5 pictures is going to help this guy put food on his table and feed his family, he goes, then that's good. That's okay that I do that. I'm not losing any money. I just got to do this for about 30 seconds, and this guy might make enough money to pay his rent off that. And I never thought of it like that. And I was like, whoa. I said, we act like these guys that get pictures and signatures are like lowlifes. But then you realize, wait a minute, it's just a legal way for them to make some money. And sometimes they stand out there for a long time to get you to sign a picture. And I go, and I've been guilty of it. I've told memorabilia guys, nah. Or I run to the car because they're coming up to get it after a show. But I was like, man, I never looked at it like that. I never did. He said even there was a time him and his wife was leaving somewhere, and they was in the car, and 3 cars started following him. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. And he started switching lanes, and they were switching lanes. So he finally pulled over, and they pulled over behind him. And he said, okay, what you're doing is dangerous. What you're doing is wrong. You're following me with my wife. He goes, so I know what you want, but what you're doing is wrong. So I'm going to sign what you want me to sign. And I'm asking you to do a U-turn and go the other way. Please don't keep following me. He said, because if you do, then I got to get law enforcement involved. Or you're going to take me somewhere I don't want to go. And who wants to fight John Cena? But he said he signed everything. The guys did a U-turn, and they took off, and they thanked him. He said, just diffuse the situation. And of course, Charlemagne at Breakfast Club was like, you pulled over? You know, aren't you worried about what could happen? And that's when he said, I just firmly believe most of humanity is good. And I have to keep that mindset. And it was just like, but I mean, the guy's he's got it figured out. He's got this entertainment business figured out. He's got everything figured out. I was like, he's very thoughtful in his words. He doesn't talk out of turn. You can tell this isn't something just coming off the top of his head. He's really put a lot of thought into what he's saying. And I already was a fan, but now I'm a bigger fan. I was just like, It was just, I'm so glad that I saw it.